Hello, my dear children. Hope you are all doing well. In the last session, we learned basic concepts relating to production through an imaginary village called Palampur and the four important requirements for production like land, labor, physical and human capital, modern farming methods to increase yield by using high yielding varieties of seeds. In this session, we will discuss about Green Revolution in the 1960s, its effect on the land, how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur, who will provide the labor, the capital needed in farming, sale of surplus farm products, and non-farm activities in Palampur. Okay, who is considered as a father of Green Revolution in India? You all may be knowing it is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Let us know something about Green Revolution. There was a period when a strategical increase in agricultural production was needed to make India self-sufficient in food grains, which came up as an after effect of Bengal famine in 1943 and World War II in 1945. Experiencing this, M.S. Swaminathan entered into research in the field of agriculture. In 1960s, India was on the verge of mass famine and he and other scientists developed high-yielding varieties of seeds of wheat and promoted sustainable development, and he came to be known as the father of Green Revolution. The Green Revolution in the late 1960s introduced the Indian farmers to cultivation of wheat and rice using high yielding varieties of seeds. Okay, what is meant by Green Revolution? The introduction of high yielding varieties of seeds and the increased use of chemical fertilizers and irrigation are collectively known as Green Revolution. Let us understand the merits and demerits of Green Revolution. As you all know, we have both advantage and disadvantage. The merits include high yield per hectare, increase of yield up to 3 times by the use of high yielding varieties of seeds, greater use of machines like harvesters, tractors and threshers has made plowing and harvesting much faster and easier. The disadvantage of it include loss of soil fertility due to excessive use of chemical fertilizers, continuous use of groundwater by means of tube wells in irrigation resulted in depletion of groundwater level. Chemical fertilizers were easily soluble in water and it can dissolve in the groundwater and pollute it. Overused the natural resource base, that is overuse of fertilizers, in turn reduced the natural fertility of the soil. From these we can understand that land being a natural resource, it is necessary to be very careful in its use. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them. The graph shows steady increase in the production of wheat and pulses in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh. But what has happened in Punjab due to the overuse of chemical fertilizers? The consumption of chemical fertilizers in Punjab became highest in the country. The continuous use of chemical fertilizers led to degradation of soil health. The farmers were forced to use more and more chemical fertilizers and other inputs to achieve the same production level. It increased the cost of production. Yield of wheat grown from the traditional varieties was 1300 kg per hectare, whereas with the high yielding variety seeds, the yield went up to 3200 kg per hectare. There was a large increase in the production of wheat and farmers had greater amounts of surplus wheat to sell in the markets. You have realized how important land is for farming. Now we'll discuss how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. In Palampur, about one third of the 450 families are landless. That is, 150 families, most of them Dalits, have no land for cultivation. Of the remaining families who own land, 240 families cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. Cultivation of such plots doesn't bring adequate income to the farmer family. You can see the large number of small plots scattered around the village in the picture. These are cultivated by the small farmers. On the other hand, more than half of the area is covered by plots that are quite larger in size. In Palampur, there are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. Hope you have understood how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. We can see an unequal distribution of land. The pie chart very clearly explains that marginal and small farmers possess less than 2 hectares of land. Medium and large farmers possess more than 2 hectares of land. After land, labor is the next necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. Thus, they provide the labor required for farming themselves. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Farm laborers come either from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. Unlike farmers, farm laborers do not have a right over the crops grown on the land. Instead, they are paid wages by the farmer for whom they work. Wages can be in cash or in kind. Example, crop. Sometimes laborers get meals also. Wages vary widely from region to region, from crop to crop, from one farm activity to another, like sowing and harvesting. There is also a wide variation in the duration of employment. A farm laborer might be employed on a daily basis or for one particular farm activity like harvesting or for the whole year. Do you know how land succession and inheritance happen in a village? There is a story that explains it. In 1960, Gobind was a farmer with 5 hectares of largely unirrigated land. With the help of his 4 sons, Gobind cultivated the land. Though they didn't live very comfortably, the family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from one buffalo that the family possessed. Some years after Gobind's death, this land was divided among his 4 sons. Each one now has a plot of land that is only 1.25 hectares in size. Even with improved irrigation and modern farming method, Gobind's sons are not able to make a living from their land. They have to look for additional work during part of the year. You have already seen that the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, so that the farmer now needs more money than before. Let us understand how these farmers arrange money for their cultivation. Small farmers and landless laborers mainly borrow money from lenders and traders. They get it at a high rate of interest, and the loan repayment becomes very difficult. Large and medium farmers use their saved money. They even lent money to small farmers, and with the excess money, they buy cattle, tractors, or set up shops. Let us suppose that the farmers have produced wheat on their lands using the three factors of production. The wheat is harvested and production is complete. What do the farmers do with the wheat? They retain a part of the wheat for the family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat. Small farmers have little surplus wheat. They retain the wheat for the family's consumption. Medium and large farmers sell it in the market. Traders at the market buy the wheat and sell it further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. Always they have excess money with them. Excess money is put in the bank. Later, they lend it as loan or use to arrange for the working capital for farming. Some farmers use the savings to buy cattle, trucks, or to set up shops. In the previous session, we have discussed about the non-farm activities in Palampur. It includes shopkeeping, dairy, manufacturing, and transport. Dairy is a common activity in many families of Palampur. People feed their buffaloes on various kinds of grass and the jowar and bajra that grows during the rainy season. The milk is sold in Rajganj. Small scale manufacturing in Palampur involves very simple production methods and are done on a small scale. They are carried out mostly at home or in the fields with the help of family labor. Rarely are laborers hired. We listen to a story about Mishri Lal who made a small profit. Mishri Lal has purchased a mechanical sugarcane crushing machine run on electricity and has set it up on his field. Sugarcane crushing was earlier done with the help of bullocks, but people prefer to do it by machines these days. Mishri Lal also buys sugarcane from other farmers and processes it into jaggery. The jaggery is then sold to traders at Shahpur. In the process, he makes a small profit. The traders of Palampur are shopkeepers who buy various goods from wholesale markets in the cities and sell them in the village. We can see small general stores in the village selling a wide range of items like rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, biscuits, soap, toothpaste, batteries, candles, pencil, even some cloth. Likewise, let us know about Karim, who is running a computer center in the village. In recent years, a large number of students have been attending college in Shahpur town. Karim found that a number of students from the village are also attending computer classes in the town. There were two women in the village who had a degree in computer applications. He decided to employ them. He bought computers and set up the classes in front room of their house overlooking the market. High school students have started attending them in good numbers. Another non-farm activity is transport. It is a fast developing sector. There are a variety of vehicles on the road connecting Palampur to Rajganj. Rickshawalas, tongawalas, jeep, tractor, truck drivers and people driving the traditional bullock cart and bogie are people in the transport services. They ferry people and goods from one place to another and in return get paid for it. The number of people involved in transport has grown over the last several years. Hope you have understood. Before concluding, let us recap what we have learned in this session. We have learned about green revolution and its advantages. What can be the effect of chemical fertilizers and pesticides on land? Importance of conserving the natural resource. How is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? Among landless, small, medium, and large farmers? Who provides the labor required, the capital needed in farming, and the sale of surplus farm products? Even we have discussed about non-farm activities which include dairy, small-scale manufacturing, shops, and transport. Okay, now you read the chapter thoroughly and answer all the questions given at the end of the chapter. We'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.